Hi, welcome to this quick presentation that will show you when it's best to use found footage versus creating your own footage. So first, it's important that we define what is found footage. And found footage is any sort of media that you have not created. That's probably the easiest way to think about it. So anything you find on YouTube, DVDs, old VHS tapes, but essentially anything. This could be videos, pictures, audio. Footage is just the easier way to think about it, especially in terms of class usage, since that's what we mainly use in terms of media for showing important concepts. Now that we know that, we should start asking ourselves, when should we use found footage? And if you answer yes to any of these questions, the best way to go about this is then yes, you should be using this within your classroom. And the first question I have for you is, will it enhance my learning objectives? And that means, is it aligning with the standards or the objectives I've set up for the lesson or the unit? Is it aligning to state standards, anything like that? If it's also going to be something you couldn't necessarily produce on your own. This is stuff, especially in science classrooms when there are large-scale, more dangerous demonstrations, found footage can be definitely beneficial, or showing an example of how a practice might be used, or also for history classrooms showing reenactment, something that you couldn't necessarily produce on your own terms. The other question you should be asking yourself is, will it engage at least 90% of my audience? Now, this is important to think about. 90% is honestly a little bit of an arbitrary number, but if you are meeting that 90%, that means it's going to get to your students. And the reason I have this on here is that not everyone actually cares about watching videos in the classroom. I know that sounds crazy, but there's some students who just don't learn that way. So making sure that this footage is going to actually be beneficial for at least that 90% of your class, that they will get something from it, that is an excellent reason then why you should be using it. Will it motivate a discussion afterwards? I think this is probably the most important question you need to be answering yes to. See, if you're using media that you found online or on a DVD at the library, wherever, and you're not having a discussion afterwards with it, then is it really beneficial for your students' learning? It needs to be able to actually create some sort of discussion after what you've watched. So then really, what is created footage? Well, created footage is anything that you as the teacher for your classroom have created that's going to be used within the class or maybe within the world, depending on how you place that format and make it available. Questions you should be asking yourself before you even start getting into creating footage for your class is that, are there no available professional resources? This is very important to keep in mind. There is a ton of professional resources out there. Resources that will have better audio quality, better video quality, maybe explain things a little more in depth than what you might know already. So if there's no professional resources, you should definitely be creating your own footage. Also, will it help the audience connect more with you? This is important too. I found throughout making flipped videos, the more I create videos myself for my class, the more connected they feel to the material. It's not just some random outsider I've brought into the class, it's myself, and they, in some level, understand that I know that I'm trying to meet their needs that way. Whereas somebody else, some random person you might find online to give your kids to watch that footage for discussion within your classroom, it wasn't created for them, and they understand that. My other question is, are you a flipped classroom? I wholly believe that if you are a flipped classroom, you need to be making your own content. Khan Academy is very easy and tempting to use. It has everything ready to go, and all you basically do is enter the grades. But is that necessarily best for your students? Is that going to help them connect more with you? Yes, it might be a professional resource, but in a flipped classroom, you still need to be the teacher, and you do not need to assign anyone else to be that teacher for you online. And then finally, will it be sharing something class-specific? I make a lot of footage using Arduinos and Raspberry Pis for my lessons, and one of the things I found is if I share footage on how to program an Arduino with my class, it's going to always give them some topic they don't know about, and then I have to spend more time trying to teach them what that topic is and what I wanted them to learn. Make sure that the footage that you're creating is specific to your class and you are meeting their needs. Hopefully you have found this video interesting and a little bit insightful. Make sure you give this video a like if you did find anything that you can use within your classroom. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.